Hi everyone, it's Sarah from Plan Sarah Plan, and welcome to my September setup plan with me. Welcome to my channel, everyone. Today I'm going to be setting up my Erin Condren Life Planner month view, the dashboard, the notes pages that come before and after the month view, and I'm going to use a sticker kit from my shop, Plan Sarah Plan. This one is called September Artsy Life. And I'm just going to flip through the pages of the different sticker sheets that are in the kit so you can see them all. But there are stickers for the month view as well as the dashboard and probably a few things left over that you can use somewhere else in your planning, perhaps in a weekly spread, because there's also a companion weekly kit that goes with this. So I'm going to pull information from my power sheets. This is where I do not only like some pre-planning when I do my monthly setup, but also breaking down some goals and checking in with goals to see if they're still relevant. A lot of my goals stay on the list for a while, but I do pull from my power sheets to help me so that these complement each other. I think the dashboard page that is after this month view is really a great place to kind of reinforce what is on my tending list in my power sheets. So let's just get down to decorating first of all. I'll just tell you, been sick with the flu for over a week, but I feel great now. I'm still a little bit weak, but I don't feel like I am super fighting the flu anymore. I feel like I'm now just bouncing back. And I'm sure you can hear it in my voice that I'm still regaining my voice, but I have had a surprisingly productive week for having had the flu. And I've been moving very slowly. No piano students this week, and it's the final week of summer for me. I start at my teaching year the first week of September with my piano students. And so this week was a good week for me to be sick if I had to be sick because I didn't have any students or lessons that I needed to cancel. And I was able to knock out some things like I make my students assignment books, and I was able to get all of those printed and bound. I use a comb binding machine that I have a love-hate relationship with comb binding machines because they can be problematic, especially when children use comb bound books because they might be a little too rough with their books and throw them down in the floor of the car after their piano lesson. And sometimes that comb binding comes undone. But I'm trying a new hack with my comb binding this year where before I released the binding onto the pages so that it, kind of closes the circle. If you can imagine what a comb bound book looks like, I applied some super glue to each one of the little parts. I think I called them tines the last time I talked about this. And so the the comb binding is very secure right now. Of course, the students are all going to get those books next week, and we'll see how well they hold up over time. But I am very happy that I got all of those assignment books done. That was a biggie on my list, and I have all of my lessons scheduled. And I even made some progress on a few household things that I wanted to work on as well. So even though I've been sick, I've gotten quite a few things done, and it's just now pointing to the 3 stickers that I'm using for headers in the sidebar of my month view. And the 3 headers I chose were deadlines this month, household goals, and my goals. So when I filmed this earlier in the week, I had no voice at all, but I just thought, well, I need to go ahead and plan September. It's a busy month, and it's also a month that has a lot of birthdays in my family, as well as a couple of my friends have birthdays in September. So it I needed to get a jump on it whether I had a voice or not. So I am using just the little dots that are in this kit as bullet points. Another thing that is fun to do is to use like a dot marker, a clean color dot marker to make little check dots for yourself. Another thing that you can use is my new favorite pen, which is the Sharpie Creative Marker. It actually makes some nice dots and it does not bleed through. It's surprisingly amazing in that way. So I did not get to hang out with any of the grandbabies while I was sick. So that was the downside of this. But I did get all of my September verses done up in their graphics that I like to put on Instagram. And I used the pattern from the header that you see on this monthly view here. I used that same pattern as the background for my memory verses so that they would coordinate, and I love it. It's a really happy pattern, and I thought it would look nice with the memory verses as well. So what I'm doing now is putting a full box, just a decorative box, on the last day of August and on the first day of October to just show a more defined beginning and end to the month. And I'm going to be placing down the date covers, and I'm not going to make you sit through it, but I'll let you enjoy my placing the 1 and the 2. Then after that, voila, we have the whole thing. And I think it's easier to see my numbers when they're on stickers personally. I make my numbers nice and chunky so that I can see them. The first thing that I was putting on here were lesson numbers, and I didn't film the little part where I put the piano down. So the piano is just marking the first day of the fall term. And for the last week of September, I'm just going to write directly on the page with my dual tip marker here. I'm using the sapphire one to write down we have no lessons the last week of September. So while I'm putting down my church stickers and writing down church and when I play piano, I will tell you another thing that I made a lot of headway on this last week while I've been sick was writing songs for Easy Backyard Bash, which is the new student piano book that I've been working on. And it will be the third in a series of Backyard Bash books, which are like late elementary level pieces with words that have to do with actual things that have happened in our backyard or in one of my parents' backyards or when I was a child in the backyard. And so I've gotten, as of right now, 9 of the pieces composed. And I would like to have a total of 10 to 12 of those for the collection. That's normally how many there are in the books. So I was really pleased to get a lot of those done. What I did there was write Studio Makeover, and that is just on Labor Day. I'm going to organize my teaching space and get it a little bit less cluttered. Just, it's not real cluttered right now, but a little less cluttered. I'm calling it a makeover because why not? That's sort of fun. And where I wrote mom, that is one of my mom days. So 3 days a week, I help my mother with things. And so that's usually Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I'm also going in and writing all these September birthdays that we have. So my birthday is in September, my sister, my half sister, my niece, my mom, my very good friend, and maybe there's more and I'm missing them, but forgive me if I am because I still have a little bit of a foggy head. Since I'm doing a voiceover, I have the luxury of being able to tell little stories. So let me tell you a story. today, which is, it's right now August 29th, we had a visit from the plumber so that we could have some new bathroom faucets installed. And this is not going to be a funny story, it's just going to be a real life story, an adulting kind of a story. So I'm always trying to save money, but at the same time, get high quality things, especially for our home whenever possible. So, if we asked this plumbing company to come out and replace the faucets, and if they were in charge of getting the faucets, that costs more than if we just go directly to a retailer and get the faucets that we like. So, my husband and I picked out the faucets that we like from Amazon. They are Moen faucets, and they're nice faucets, but we figured we would save a little bit of money that way. Well, I assumed, and if there are any plumbers in my audience, you can tell me what is the norm. But I assumed that coming out and putting faucets in a couple of bathroom sinks would be relatively straightforward and easy. Well, we live in an area with very hard water, and it is like not just above average hard water. It's kind of off the charts um, hard water. So we, I think, experience more difficulty with appliances that use water than someone else might, and also things like plumbing fixtures go bad more quickly when you have hard water. It does a number on your dishwasher, your hot water heater, your faucets, other things. But anyway, what we probably should do is get a water softening system for the entire house. But that's a big dollar item that we're not really budgeting for at this moment. We have some other things that are higher up on our list of things we'd like to do for the house. So, anyway, a long story or a long way of explaining that when we had these faucets put in today, I estimated in my head that it would cost about $600 to $800 to have this done. Too high, in my opinion, to put in two faucets, but anyway, that's what I estimated that it would be. Well, it turned out that due to our hot water, we also, not hot water, the hard water that we have here locally, we have had some corrosion happen underneath the sinks that I didn't know about. So the emergency stop valve, I think is what it's called, those things were not working properly. Like you couldn't turn them or operate them. And then there's something called a P-trap. I have no idea what that is. But all of this stuff was super messed up. So we went ahead and opted to have those things replaced in addition to having the faucets put in. So instead of $600 to $800, you want to take a stab at what it was? It was, I mean, this is not super private stuff to talk about, is it? It's just like a common thing that you deal with as a homeowner, plumbing expense. So it came to just over $2,100, which was a big ouch in my opinion. Um, and I thought to myself, I had a hair appointment scheduled for today. And because I'm still recovering from the flu, I went ahead and canceled it. And before this bottom line happened today, I was thinking in my mind, well, because I'm sick, I'm saving a little bit of money by not having my hair appointment. So that's going to help and offset the installation of these faucets. Well, I guess the joke was on me a little bit because it didn't offset much of it, did it? Because if it had been $600 to $800, then it would have offset a noticeable amount. But I guess when it's $2,100, it's not quite as noticeable. But anyway, that was a little adulting story that I just thought you would enjoy. Okay, so what I'm doing is you probably noticed that I have been adding events here, and all of my events are written on stickers, most of them, and I'm going to have a few left over so that I can add things as the month goes on, or even use one to write canceled if something ends up getting canceled. And pretty much the last thing that I need to do before going over to filling out the sidebar is adding in paydays. And that's just fun to do with little money stickers that I have. And I stack a little bit of money with a little banner that says payday. And that's just a fun little call out to remind me when those dates are. And with that, I'm ready to go over to the sidebar. Some of these I've already thought through and I know what I'm going to do because I filled out my power sheets already. But my top goals for the month are to finish Easy Backyard Bash and to finish our, or not finish, but make more progress on our wedding album. Which I'm pleased to say I am more than halfway through that, which is substantial compared to the progress I've made for the last year and a half. And then the third one is to work on our 2024 scrapbooks, which are gifts for our kids, actually. And the last one is to work on God's Minute, which is the old prayer book that I have translated into modern English. And then moving down to the household goals, I want to fill up my seasonal bins, organize them a little bit more. I have some color coded bins or bins that I think match the season. And then I want to get my studio makeover done on Monday before piano starts. I'd like to put out some fall decor this month. And I would like to clean the windows in our living room. My deadlines this month that I'm giving myself are to have Easy Backyard Bash finished by September 9th and to have recital pieces selected for all of my students by September 26th. Now let's open this up and add a bit of deco in empty spots. So this is on the little freebie sheet, and I like how on the easel I've got a picture of the pattern. That's the main pattern for this. And I'd like to have a mug that says Planner Girl. And I would also like some purple reading glasses like this. So you see a lot of my personality in the freebie. The little paintbrushes, not so much. And now let's go over to the dashboard and the Prayer of the Month page. For the Prayer of the Month page, that's the notes page on the right. I'm putting the easel with the main pattern of this month's Artsy Life kit on the easel and a medium strip of washi tape up at the top and just topping that with the Prayer of the Month header. I could write my prayer out by hand here, or I could just use a printed out version of the prayer, which is what I typically do when I am short on time. And now I am just placing the background boxes for the dashboard page, and each of these boxes has its own purpose, the way that I use them. So what I do is put my top 3 goals that I want to make progress on in that bottom box. In this box, I list my weekly themes. So that could be all pen, it could be a particular sticker kit, which is what it usually is. It could be a color scheme. I have a header that says sticker kits, but I should actually have one that just says weekly themes because I don't like to limit it to just sticker kits. And then in this top box, I list a single habit of the month that I would like to keep present. It's not going to be a habit tracker, but it'll be something that I see regularly when I check my dashboard. And then I'm just topping this with a September header. When we get to the big box, that is the nice tall vertical box, I like to divide that into two sections. I use the top section for my book of the month, and then I use the lower section for a challenge of the month. And that wraps up the dashboard page foundation. We will come back to that. But let's flip over to the notes page before the month view and do a very simple setup. This just has a strip of washi at the top and a header that says memory verses. And then we will come back and actually add the memory verses. Okay, so now let's put some headers down on these boxes. I've gathered up the ones that I'm going to use, and I like to put a little thin strip of washi tape underneath some of them just for looks. So there's my habit of the month header, and then my sticker kits or weekly themes will go here. Down on the bottom box, we'll have make progress on, and I'm going to use 3 empty full boxes that I used to use on my monthly spread to give me 3 things to make progress on. And now let's look at the book of the month. I'm printing out the cover on my HP Sprocket Select on sticker paper, and it's called The Wings of Poppy Pendleton. It's by Melanie Dobson, and that's going to go at the top of the largest box. I think it's easier to go ahead and put that cover down before I put the header that says book of the month down so that I can overlap it with that. And now let's divide this big box in two so I can have an area for my challenge of the month. And for that, I'm just using a thin strip of blue washi, a cute little asterisk sticker in the center of that, and then a challenge of the month header. My pretty gold tweezers are from Laurel Denise if you're interested, and I have a Laurel Denise link down in the video description. Okay, so now it's time to actually do some writing on this dashboard page, and I'm going to start with the make progress on area. And none of these are going to be new goals, but I'm prioritizing these 3. My 2024 scrapbooks for our kids, which are gifts that I am behind on, but I'm very close to finishing. And then the next goal is going to be to pick God's Minute back up. This is an old prayer book that I have put into modern English, and I want to prioritize that. And then the last one is to work on our wedding album. And that is more than halfway done. It's really just revamping our old wedding album from 1985. We've got the habit of the month, sticker kits or themes, challenge of the month, and the computer system before they leave the house. And that saves me from having a backlog. Then I'm trying a brand new shop to me. It's a printable shop called Grand Plans, and I'm going to use a kit called Autumn Elegance. So for the habit of the month, now that piano lessons are going to be starting up, I want my habit to be getting lesson notes typed and in the system actually before the student leaves. And the last so the last for September 3 or so minutes of the lesson I like to is from Boulder Bond, and it's called Wildwood. Go in and type up My themes for each week are going to be the first week, which is September 1st through the 7th, will be the companion kit to this monthly kit, and it's just called Artsy Life. And that will do it for my dashboard page. So let's go ahead and flip backwards. Then for September 15th through the 21st, more page, I'm going to use an adorable memory kit. Verses. It's number 184 from Mama Gloria Shop, and it's like made a PDF. Kit. And this is also available in the file area of my Facebook group. But it is. And this was a request from one of my group members that in addition to like the little graphics that I do of my memory verses on Instagram, that I would also do a PDF. That does it for my late in the game in August. Put up a file for the August verses. My challenge of the month and for the September verses, I've got this to have ready easy backyard bash. So I'm really happy to have this. My publisher. If you are someone who uses the same verses maybe from the Bible that I use, establish the publication. You could even like just so print yours on sticker paper and put it into your planner that way. But I like to go through the process of writing down my verses because that just helps me commit them to memory. So the first one is Colossians chapter 1, verse 13. For he has rescued us from the dominion of darkness and brought us into the kingdom of the Son he loves. September 8th through the 14th is Revelation 21, verse 4. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. September 15th, my birthday, through the 21st, 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 13. Be on your guard. Stand firm in the faith. Be courageous. Be strong. September 22nd through the 28th is from Isaiah. It's chapter 43, verse 19. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. And I'm just going to top off the page with a couple of Bible stickers, and that will be it. Just peeling the backing off of this sticker paper that I printed my prayer of the month on, and hopefully this will fit. Put a little indentation there for the sticker. And so here is the memory verse page that we just finished, and it's before the month view, and I'm in the bouquet themed life planner, which does not have the typical amethyst purple that Erin Condren colorful planners have, but it's nice and pretty. I like it for a change. And then here is my month view, and I love the colors in this one. It's like a hint of fall almost because the colors are deeper, but it's still colorful. It's still hanging on to summer a little bit, and Just moved it
Plus,
up,
it's
and
just
this
got this
prayer is
artsy theme
available
that
as
I relate
a
to.
download
And
in
then
the
here is
file
my
area
dashboard
of my Facebook
page that
group.
has
That's Plan
so
Sarah
many
Plans Planner
functional
Circle.
elements to it that I
And
really
if you are a
enjoy,
member, you already
as
know where to
well as
find
the
this.
fun element
But
of
if you're
a
not a member and you would like to join,
nonfiction
just make
book
sure you
of
answer.
the month. And then I've got my prayer of the month here. And that really has me all set up to use this planner for the month. And I can refer back to my monthly spread whenever I am looking at a new week, or even just each morning. I can take a look at it and review and refine as I need to.